Hi, this is the model I talked to you about. And try to go through it real quick here. Um, this is a rough idea of the concrete. Obviously, we weren't able to pull a tape to get it perfect, but we modeled this to kind of get a chance. At the header, as you get near the corners, there's a step of 2 3/4 to 3 inches that goes up. Similar at the purlin, but at the curb, there is not a a step in the angle. It goes across flat, and they built up more wood blocking over here. Okay, down here is the curb angle, and there is no step. We're kind of guessing as the concrete for the valley. We were able to measure the outside of it and the depth of the gutter, so it has to be something close to this. I believe the concrete is to the higher height at the step, and at some point it has to cut before it hits this angle. How far back, we don't know. This is the smaller angle that we talked about, and then there's the existing gutter, which was attached to wood blocking or this angle. There isn't always a wall here. Some places there's plaster and lath. Other places it's just attached to here and sticking out like that. So when you go to foam this void, be careful that it doesn't come through, because this is visible at some areas. In particular, frame A10, if you look up, you'll see this tile painted black, and you can see up in here and kind of know that there's a void up there. So let's turn on the edge angle for the deck. There are a lot of layers. Apologize for the delay. So you're going to have, I assume, an angle sitting on these parts, the step in the casement. And then when that angle gets down to this angle, it'll need some kind of standoff. And there's some notes on our drawings that you don't want the standoff to go too far. You don't want it to go to the low side of the angle, or it will block the skylight connection. Okay, I've turned on the wood blocking that we modeled. Before A1 was involved, as Violet mentioned in our conference call, we had been detailing wood blocking here and up here as a way to create some structure to accept the roof and the skylight flashing. This blocking and this blocking seem to be a problem to get installed. It's not really something Super Sky can do, but it didn't seem to be part of the A1's package, so it was a void, and we just took it out to find other ways to do it. This is the more typical corner within our details, where we had the 4 pieces of blocking stacked up. And then in order to make the flashing work here, so the deck will extend out to the face of this angle, or close to it, I would think. And then you have the wood blocking. And at the time, it made sense to have this block run over and then put a piece at the end, as that would create a perimeter that we could do transitions on. And we drew the same thing here at the header, which is a little bit harder to visualize because of the 50-degree angle of this back slope. But we just laid it all in plane, and you can see here how it's going up, and these are mitered off to lie in that face of that concrete. This little bit of miter here was just to make it symmetrical. And I'm going to leave it on there, but we've kind of taken it out, so we'll have to kind of address that independently. This is just to kind of give a concept of things here. So the skylight was going to be the first part to go in, so let's add the flashing. Okay, so this is the flashing. I'm not worried about anything else. Here's our shape that we talked about with the hem and that leg going down. And then we can make special pieces at the end to go up this edge, which at the curb would be square with the roof. And let me just take this piece and move it out of the way for a minute. So that's that part. And then we go up here. We don't have as much room because the angle starts to cut off our access. The 50-degree slope starts to cut back into the skylight and go beyond the skylight very quickly. So these flashing pieces were smaller, and they're still going to be about the same profile. And then we'd have to create an end piece here to go up. And we had this coping, which if I'm just kind of rough about it, we'll go over that. So this yellow piece would be stainless, this would be stainless, everything here would be, and the purple parts down here would also be stainless. The thinking at the time was these stainless steel surfaces were more compatible with the roofing materials. And that's still kind of what we're planning to do, is do this. Even if this piece of blocking goes away and we run insulation through here, I still think we need something going up here to secure that flashing. And I guess it would work the same on this one. You know, it's just a small piece attached to here. And again, this is the more common corner where they're going to be filled in with roof. One of the corners is just skylight. That you don't have to worry about. That's all on Super Sky. And then there are two similar corners where the deck is 3 inches lower. So presumably you would want two more pieces of blocking, or maybe to build it in a different way. But we still think you should follow the same concept because it gives us a way to flash off the skylight. So let me turn on the panel layer. And show you a little bit of what happens there. Oop, I need the edge panels. So this is the panel that's at the curb. And what happens is these panels project past the edge of that blocking. So we had to cut a little reveal back in here and weld it up. And these parts are made. They came out real nice. This yellow stainless steel piece will go over that, but that yellow cap would cap over all these edges. And this will be metal coming down, and then we'll caulk here, and then we can caulk it down vertically. But that gold flashing is painted aluminum. That's a typical panel joint. And then we would be caulked to the stainless steel on this side with roofing coming to that flange in this area here. I can also turn on the layer for the roofing, but I'm not sure I have it drawn right. This is a couple iterations back. And so I think this gutter flashing is going to want to go to the corner, and then you'll have that little 1.5 to 2 inch step to come back to get to here. Similar to what's going on with the skylight, but you'll have the roof turning down in this valley area. And that's the panel. And then we can look at the panel up here, which gets more extreme again because of the 50-degree angle, that we had to cut it back as far as we possibly could to create a pocket for a caulk joint. And right now what's happening is the older iteration of the roof is clashing with the panel model. That's really not a condition that's going to occur. The roof would be different, but it won't be in the way as what you can see here. We would have our stainless wrapping around. Here's my little cover that I keep misplacing. And then we would caulk this pocket because the panel again is going to project out in front of all the roofing surfaces around it. And the advantage to this is we had the flashing to interface with the roof and the skylight. And then the skylight was all painted aluminum, and we can caulk it and create a good weather-tight barrier at the exterior face of the skylight. That's where this idea for the wood, and you'll see these details are on pages 824 and 825 of our shop drawings, and they kind of help explain it a little bit better, but I thought the video would get a quick understanding of the relationships geometrically that are all going on here. So hopefully that helps and gives an idea of what we were planning to do. I can turn on a few more layers here real quick. Give you the glass. A little bit more context so that our cap would be here. This end piece is all welded. It'll then lap onto a piece of flashing. So these were very complicated shapes to make, but they came out very good. And this is how we do a lot of panels for skylights. I hope that puts some of the details in a little bit better context for everybody. The curb one's easy to get. The one in the head, for some reason, maybe it was just me, but this 50-degree slope makes it hard to visualize how to make this corner. And I think these two corners are key to keeping everything waterproof long term. So that's what we were trying to achieve. I'm sorry if I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it, but it is kind of complicated, and I guess I'm getting a little tired and it's getting late at work. So thank you. Talk to you soon.